ferais faire la fête. Ta mère veut te la faire aussi la fête. Le juge voudrait te faire la fête. Tout le monde te fera aussi la fête.
Hey guys, how's it going? We are back and welcome to a video that many people have been requesting from me, and I am very excited to be bringing to you. This is my all-encompassing, if you will, guide for how to be a free-to-play Ironman. Now, some of the key points I'm going to touch on in this episode is how to go about completing quests, how to make money, how to get good armor and weapons, what armor and weapons you can get because you can't get all of them as a free-to-play Ironman player, and some other assorted topics that I've been asked quite frequently. So let's get into it. But before we get into the clips where I tell you how to be an efficient and effective free-to-play Ironman, I wanted to point you in the direction of my clan chat, my friends chat, whatever you want to call it. You can join it simply by going into your clan chat and joining Iron Windbow's chat. I automatically friend anybody who comes into the chat, and it is a very lively chat with very helpful people. If you have any questions at all, come into the chat and someone will be there to answer your questions. So first off, I'm going to be showing you probably what most people will be interested in looking in this video. I've been asked more questions pertaining to this than any other question, and I've been asked quite a lot of questions to this point, and that is how to make money as a free-to-play Ironman. Now, if you haven't done the Stronghold Security in Barbarian Village, go do it straight away. It is a free 10k, it is extremely easy money to get. All you have to do is activate the authenticator on your phone. If enough people don't know how to do that, I will make a guide for that, so if you don't know how to do the authenticator and therefore don't know how to get into the Stronghold Security, I will definitely make a video on that so I can show you guys what's up and how to get that free 10k. But after that 10k, there's obviously a lot more money that you do have to go about getting, and the main way that I got all of my money, and I mean all of it, and I've come across probably about 500k so far in my free-to-play Ironman lifetime, is lobster fishing. Now, as you've seen, I just went to Karamja, fished lobsters for about 5 minutes, and now I'm running back to Port Sarim to the fishing store. And then you trade with Garant, sell them as long as the stock is lower than 25, so you'll get a good deal. And yeah, just from that, 1.5k in 5 minutes. Now, that's not super money, but it's pretty good. And in my opinion, it is the best way to get money as a free-to-play Ironman. For my next pearl of wisdom, I suppose you could call it, I'm going to be showing you what you should be doing in terms of combat training. Now, as you can see here, I'm killing goblins, which is, everybody's done it at some point. It is extremely easy. They're level 2. These are the first little critters that you're going to want to kill, and you're going to want to kill them for quite a while. I went up until like level 25 combat. I actually think now that that's a bit excessive. You don't need to go that high. You do get some pretty okay drops from them. I used the bronze square shield I got as a drop until Dragon Slayer, actually, when you get the anti-dragon shield. But other than that, you're not going to get a whole lot from these guys. I did bury the bones, which is how I got my 19 prayer, along with the Restless Ghost quest, which we will talk about later. But other than that, these guys are just for some quick, easy XP. And then what you're going to want to do after you hit that point where you decided you want to move on from the goblins is head on up to the cows, who are just a few steps to the north. Now, cows are extremely crowded. I was actually on the most crowded world when I recorded this, but even with that in mind, they are very useful, especially when considering you get the hide drops from them. You're going to want to pick up the cow hides. I didn't do that in this video because I already have the 16 crafting, which is when you move on to silver, which is vastly superior in terms of crafting, but we're not talking about crafting. But you are going to want to pick up the cow hides, and they will be very useful for you in getting to 16 crafting before you can go on to holy symbols. If there is another mob that you want to kill instead, definitely go for it. I mean, there are many alternatives, but I've found that the usefulness of the drops that you get from cows definitely give them a bit of an edge over their competitors in terms of who you should be training combat against. Now, once you get up to a relatively decent combat level, you're going to want to move on to tougher mobs. Now, I did hill giants pretty quickly after I did cows because my combat level was so high relatively. Some other people like to do flesh crawlers in the stronghold security. I can definitely see why that would be nice. They do aggro automatically, but their drops are quite poor, and the hill giant drops are significantly better. You will get law runes from them, you'll get big bones from them to increase your prayer. There's just a lot of good things that come with training your combat against hill giants. After the hill giants, though, you are going to want something even stronger, and I found that to be hobgoblins. Now, hobgoblins are what I've been training on for quite some time now. I'm up to level like 57 combat at the moment, and they've been what I've been training on since about 40, so that tells you how long I've been sticking them out. This is your best place to fight against them. It is down in the Edgeville dungeon. And yeah, they actually have some really nice drops, and as you're going to see here, this guy that I kill actually drops cosmic runes, which that's one of the only ways you can get cosmic runes in the free-to-play game, so it's very, very useful for you. And if you're looking for good drops and some pretty decent XP, I would definitely go to hobgoblins. If you're looking for fast, easy AFK XP, probably flesh crawlers. The hobgoblins will aggro on you until level 83. But that said, there is only 4 of them, so they're not going to aggro as easily. Flesh crawlers, you can kind of just stand in the middle of the room and they will all attack you whenever they get an opportunity to do so. That is not the case with hobgoblins. But yeah, there's some examples of what you can be killing when you should be killing it, and what the benefits are to killing each of those monsters. Now, next up, I'm going to be talking to you about quests. Quests are very useful, especially in the free-to-play game. You can only max out at 39 quest points as a free-to-play Ironman, but you can complete every quest as a free-to-play Ironman. You are not restricted in any way. And as you can see right there, there are some huge benefits that you can get from quests. I actually tried looking at some of the other loots you can get, or the rewards you can get, and none of the other ones actually show you. But what you saw there from Dragon Slayer was very impressive indeed. Now, some of the quests I want to talk to you guys about are the useful quests, and the big one among them is the Knight's Sword. You will get a ridiculous amount of smithing XP from the Knight's Sword, and it's one of the quests that I would recommend doing as early as you can, because it will give you a huge advantage later in the game when you try to start training your smithing. Smithing isn't a skill I would recommend training early, but it is one that you are going to have to train at some time. There are all guides for every quest in the game, so I'm going to be putting a website up on the screen right now that you can go to. Type in any quest, it will give you a very good guide. I can't make a guide for every quest, but I can tell you that every quest has a very good guide on this website, and that's how I did it. I had no problems with it. Now, as my last clip to round everything off, I'm going to be talking about armor and weapons in the game. This is the armor you will be able to obtain as soon as you start. It is exactly equivalent to iron armor. It has the same bonuses as a full set of iron armor. So once you get anything better than iron, use that, but until that point, just stick with the Iron Man armor. This is my current melee armor setup, and I actually managed to buy the Rune Longsword and the Rune Plate Legs from the Champions Guild, which is where I was just standing in the last clip, the Rune Plate Body at the end of Dragon Slayer, and the Rune Full Helm you will have to get as a drop from a Greater Demon. Once again, the website that I pointed to you to earlier will give you information on how to get any item that you want. You cannot actually get a rune shield, be it the kite shield or the square shield, in free-to-play RuneScape without making it yourself. So unless you have 97 smithing, you're not going to be able to get that. But I still think that's a pretty respectable setup. I have been doing quite a bit of mage myself. Magic is actually how I managed to kill the greater demons to get that drop. And yeah, this is my setup that I've been using for magic. You can use the basic lowest level fire spell on the greater demons, and it's very easy. And this is what I used for that. Safe spotting is very effective. You will have to get the blue top as a drop from wizards. Be careful, they are extremely overpowered, especially for their level. I think I went at them at level 25 combat and they just about iced me. I actually managed to get the drop on video, so that's in, I believe, episode 2 or 3 of my free-to-play Iron Man adventure. So yeah, you can go have a look at that if you want. And this is what I will be using as my range setup. My range level is currently level 1. I have not trained it at all to this point, so that's probably my bad. Don't know what I'll be using for the legs, but I suppose I'll probably be using Rune. But yeah, if you want to, that's probably what you should use for training your range. And arrows, really, as a free-to-play player, you'll have to buy them from the archery shop or get them as a drop from a monster. And before I head out, guys, I would just like to ask that you like this video if you have found it enjoyable or useful, and make sure to subscribe to my channel because I am uploading free-to-play Ironman content on a weekly basis or whenever I can get content together. And yeah, if you wanted to start looking at the beginning of my series, the beginning of my journey, if you will, the link to episode 1 of my free-to-play Ironman adventure will be in the description below. I hope you have enjoyed enough to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.